think you're the only superhero in the world? Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
Who the hell are you?
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Welcome to another episode of Countdown to Infinity, an Avengers podcast, second season, Endgame edition. Pew, pew, pew. Let's introduce ourselves. My name's Emmanuel.
I'm Andrew.
Hey, I'm John.
Man, we have so much energy here.
Lots.
That's it.
Are you sick, Dolphin?
No, I'm just comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Just because I'm bleeding out of my eyes.
He's like
doesn't mean
in
I'm
the
sick.
head. Just kidding.
I'm twisted. Yeah. Do you guys remember that episode of the podcast where I talk about killing an ant?
Oh, yeah, that was
good
terrible.
times.
Yeah, you are twisted. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but
remember that?
for sure.
Pretty good. Some of you guys found this podcast because of the Captain Marvel episode. And so let me explain to you what we do here, okay? Let me explain to you the rules. All right?
Set those ground rules down.
There are no rules. Woo, spring break.
Yeah, damn, that's even better than Fight Club. Because Fight Club has one rule.
That's true. We have more rules than less rules than Fight Club.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have 2 seasons of the show. Season 1, we watched every single Marvel movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting with Iron Man all the way up to Infinity War.
That's Ant-Man and the Wasp. We keep forgetting about that
Ant-Man
one.
and the Wasp. And then we this new season comes out twice a week, and we talk about every hero. We go hero by hero.
Except for Captain Marvel. We made an exception. To
Hero to zero to Shiro.
Yeah.
And if you like Captain Marvel, this episode's going to be pretty similar to that theme because we're talking about Nick Fury and all of the goodness that he brings to S.H.I.E.L.D. across all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Before we get started with that, though, thank you guys for listening to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for reviewing it. If you want to support the pod, we're selling shirts, and I think a lot of you guys think it's going to be available forever, but it's not. As a matter of fact, in 14 days...
For a limited time only.
It really is limited time only. So
14 days from now or when this
14
airs?
days from this day.
So Monday
Yeah,
or...
I'll find
So
the day.
you're listening to this in 2021?
Too late.
Okay.
But it's good. If you go to bonfire.com/countdown to infinity, you can buy a shirt. They come in all these colors, short sleeve, long sleeve. They look good, and all these shirts support the pod. And who knows, it may help us bring back. We may come back for another 5 seasons after this. Am I
We're
right?
going to be like Rick and Morty where we just got 70 episodes ordered.
Woo! We got ordered for 70, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Syndication.
That's making me tired actually thinking about that.
Oh, I'm exhausted just
boy.
thinking. That's a daunting task.
I think before we talk about Nick Fury, we can talk about all the crazy stuff. We don't normally talk about news, Marvel news, that often.
Oh, yeah. But we can in this one to make an exception.
Yeah, because we're going to have a little extra time. But also, there was a lot that happened this week.
And you're insulting Fury, basically.
No, I'm just saying,
How dare you?
we'll live forever. But this week had been a special week for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well,
a lot happened.
Yeah, depending on when they listen to this, I guess.
That's true. But I guess...
If you listen to this on the release day.
Yeah, which I'm holding a newspaper. Let's see what day it is. January 13th, 2005. Important day today.
Yeah.
So we, for the longest time, I guess to avoid spoilers for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the next chapter, they haven't really said much. But this week, a lot went down. For not only was there a new Infinity War trailer.
Real. Yeah. Infinity War trailer.
They announced some of the dates for the new next chapter movies.
Did they really?
They announced some new directors for some more Marvel movies.
Oh, yes, you're right.
For the master of Kung Fu.
Yeah. Who is he in the comic book?
He's a master of Kung Fu.
Forgot his name.
All
What
right.
is it? Like
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi or something.
Are you serious?
Boom. Maybe I was thinking of Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. Your soul is mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That great movie.
But
They did announce, like a director from, where is he from? He directed Short Term 12. The old original, it's a movie with Brie Larson in it, which is like pretty awesome.
yeah.
It's all connected, as they say.
Destin Daniel Cretton, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. He's directing. The Chinese American screenwriter Dave Callahan is writing it. It may be I think it is the first Asian led superhero.
Yeah.
Maybe in
for sure.
At least in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I think it's in history. I don't think there's been a.
I can't think off the
Well,
top of my
the
head.
Crow, is it the Crow a superhero?
When the Crow wasn't.
He wasn't.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he
Brandon.
died tragically. Yeah.
The actor, not
that movie is part of the MCU. And it's going to be coming out soon. They, I got to look up the rest of the things he announced. I guess we can go with one of the craziest parts of the stuff that happened this week.
Yeah, it's probably
I don't know if you talk about it.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, you want me to talk about it?
No. Just talk about it amongst yourself.
So James Gunn was reinstated as Guardians of the Galaxy.
You're fired,
Volume
and
3
then
director.
you're rehired.
Yeah,
it was
so
a trick.
It's a brief summary of what happened last year. James Gunn was fired off of. I was gonna say Countdown to Infinity.
Yeah.
James Gunn was
he got fired from here, and then he got fired from.
James Gunn was fired by Disney as the director of Guardians 3 due to some old offensive tweets,
Twitter scandals
that he had written in his youth. It was kind of a weird job, hit job by some alt-right trolls and stuff like that. It was kind of kind of really odd because he had apologized about it even in the past, shortly after he made those tweets.
I'm actually very surprised as to how much steam that gained, and it's weird because it's almost as if a lot of his supporters were lying low because they wanted to save their own skin or whatever. Because it's almost good or bad, they don't want to touch it. They don't want to touch that subject matter or whatever. But I thought because I remember reading I think online and reading some of the comments where how many people agreed with the dude who called him out or whatever. It was last summer,
and the tweets, to be fair, are very disgusting tweets. I mean, you do have to kind of understand that James Gunn came from a
kind of the world you came from.
Earth.
Yeah, same Earth.
No, but James Gunn came from earlier in his career. He was a very provocative person. He worked for Troma. If anyone's seen Tromeo and Juliet, the craziness that's in that movie.
He did web series Human Z.
Yeah,
and
PG porn. He was
James's
his
PG
early
PG porn. I remember that.
Uh-huh.
He was a very he had this edge to him, which he kind of was synonymous with his work. He had made Super and stuff like that. Everything was kind of edgy.
Lloyd Kaufman from Troma is on our pod.
Yeah, he's on our the Revenge of the Sequel
CEO
thing. He
of
was
Troma.
he actually he's the one who gave James Gunn his first job.
Also, J.J. Abrams his first job. A lot of
Yeah.
people.
Really?
Samuel L. Jackson. One of his
Samuel
first
Jackson,
jobs
yeah, you're right.
was for a
Yeah.
Troma movie.
Oh, yeah.
Good tie-in because we're going to talk about Nick Fury here in a bit.
But so that happened, and he was let go as the director, and then fast forward to just recently where he was just rehired, which is pretty awesome.
I think it was a mixture, it was a combination of probably a lot of directors who were offered that movie saying no.
Because
Yeah.
they
Taika
respected
Waititi,
him almost.
there was even a rumor that Karen
Gillian
would be making this movie.
Yeah.
So I think it was a combination of them in solidarity saying, "This isn't my movie.
Yeah.
This is a James Gunn joint."
Oh, wait,
the whole
totally
Guardians
is.
cast had signed a letter saying, "Hey, we want him
Oh,
back."
it would have been rough no matter what.
But the only real one that stuck by his side through thick and thin, because at the end of the day, they're "Oh, I still want this paycheck."
Yeah.
I obviously still want this
Contractually
iconic role
too,
role.
right?
But
It's a huge problem to break a
Yeah.
contract. It's a huge.
But the
thing.
only one that really stuck with him is Dave Bautista, who was him and his brother, and even someone like Michael Rooker, who was have been
Sean
there.
Gunn, yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, but Michael Rooker had already obviously passed on from his Marvel role,
Yeah.
so his opinion mattered very little, I think,
Yeah.
to Marvel. But people like Sean Gunn and Dave Bautista,
Dave Bautista was basically just protesting Disney.
yeah,
at
and
that point.
exactly, where it's this is fucked up, what you're doing.
Yeah, he
'Cause-
put a lot more on the line because you're making enemies not just with Kevin Feige, but also Disney.
yeah, in general, and then now they own Fox and shit. So it's no, it's they own everything,
Do whatever they
But-
want, man.
Yeah,
But he was
so-
kind of Batista was kind of really angry. He was kind
Yeah.
of he did not want to come back for this movie if
Yeah.
James Gunn wasn't there, and he was it kind of seemed like the cast kind of again, the way Drew said, every other people who are, it almost seems like the people who are used to working in Hollywood, because Dave Bautista is, not that he's fairly new, he's been around for a while, but he doesn't act like your normal actor or movie star does, so he's
He's a
very
wrestler.
blunt. Yeah, well, he's not just a wrestler, but he's very blunt and will tell you it
How
seems
it
like he would
is.
tell you straight up front how it
Yeah.
is, as opposed to keeping things behind the scenes, I think Pratt did. Pratt kind of got silent around the time.
I think it was a mixture. I think three things contributed to him coming back. The first was definitely the directors and the cast in solidarity. I think the second thing that happened was James Gunn did kind of disappear off the face of the earth No more tweets. No more after he lost Guardians. There was almost nothing.
A very slow online presence. He was there though, because every now and then you do see kind of like a post on
Yeah.
Instagram liked by James Gunn or like
So
a comment.
Also,
So
he got a job offer from DC.
That I think was the
Suicide
thing
Squad.
that played the biggest, because
And-
Marvel and DC, they've had this
They're
such this-
competitors,
they're
technically,
competitors, and if you're starting to lose some of your biggest talent to the other side,
competition.
there's really I think that's the biggest motivator for Disney, because
Well-
at the end of the day, money talks more than everything else, more than politics,
Yeah.
and you're basically giving DC one of your biggest
A hit,
assets.
yeah.
Yeah, and to me, like, were the tweets inappropriate? Absolutely, but I don't think they were like. To me, in a joking matter, like, have you heard Dave Chappelle's new like stand up? Like, he gets away with like everything. He literally calls out so many sensitive issues, but because it's James Gunn and he's under the Disney microscope, suddenly it was done.
Yeah.
So like again, someone on Netflix can go off and talk about like sexual orientation or something that made them uncomfortable, because of whatever sort of touchy issue or whatever.
And it was very much a political issue, because those
Definitely.
things
Yeah.
were only brought up because James Gunn currently was
Pissing off like a troll,
being
I
very
think,
critical
basically,
of
yeah.
Of
the
the
president.
climate,
and
yeah.
things
I don't
like
know.
that. So it's kind of
mean,
wild.
I think we had a reaction kind of when he got fired too. Like somewhere we recorded it in some
yeah.
episode.
I
but-
think we talked about it during just our Guardians episode of
Yeah.
this pod.
Well, yeah, and it's one of those things where like I was mad because like the tweets existed when you hired him.
Yeah.
So like you should have checked
Yeah.
then, or like that's when you should have made the decision. But
I do think that this surprised me when I went to the Disney shareholders meeting. How many Disney shareholders are fairly conservative? A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them take a lot of great pride in Walt Disney being a Republican.
Yeah.
For a lot of his life.
Yeah.
And so a lot of I mean, it's a very I think it's
Yeah.
a very progressive company in some ways, but the people who hold the shares
Yeah, the
of
views,
this company,
Yeah, the views are conservative.
are very different. But anyway, so
It's back it's great that he's back though. Like
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah.
day, it's
Oh,
awesome
yeah.
because only he
Excited.
could have made.
and he got another movie in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. He gets to make a
History.
DC and a Marvel
So
movie.
he
That's
kind
pretty
of
crazy.
won
yeah.
in between.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like to me, I think it was pretty gutsy of Disney to fire him and then say they made a mistake and rehire him,
Yeah.
than to keep him the first time.
And they waited
Yeah.
a good amount of time too. But I think one of the biggest things for Kevin Feige, I still don't even know.
Feige?
Feige?
Feig.
Fiji water. Did I do that already?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn
For
it.
sure.
Time
One
and
of the
time
biggest
and
thing
again.
for him, I think, was just how James Gunn was going to react after the allegations. Was he going to be apologetic? Like, what was going to be the reaction? Because if he did everything he needed to, I don't think it was a tough decision to rehire.
Right, and he wasn't like to say like a Kevin Hart, who Kevin Hart flat out said I don't need to apologize because
Yeah.
I have apologized before.
You go on a tour, apology tour.
James Gunn
everywhere.
James Gunn had a very heartfelt apology that he said,
And then under the radar.
and then he just accepted it, because he did accept it when it happened. He did say he's like, oh, I'm just gonna grow,
Yeah.
to be better and stuff like that, and then
And
kind of laid
Isn't
low.
this the most fitting thing for not just James Gunn, but for the because the Guardians movies are
James Gunn.
James Gunn, but they're all about redemption.
yeah, second chances,
second
and stuff.
chances,
Yeah.
and this is just kind of a meta reflection of that.
Yeah.
So get ready for what could be an insanely themed movie because
Right,
of just
that'd be-
the emotions behind it.
Yeah, and then it's just really funny because I've been seeing online that the trolls who kind of got him
Oh,
fired.
you have internet? Shit.
the trolls who kind of got him fired. They technically just gave him work. So
Yeah,
now
yeah,
he
Suicide
has
Squad.
2 gigs now.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Boom.
funny.
And then he's got that really awesome movie, the Superman, Evil
Brightburn
Superman,
or whatever?
Brightburn.
Yeah, I saw
Coming
that
out,
too.
producer. So yeah,
Crazy.
It couldn't have happened to a better person.
Last part of the news that we'll talk about here from this crazy week of Marvel news is the Disney shareholders meeting. They confirmed the films and the dates there, but they don't think they will release them. They take all your phones away. But here's Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Here we go.
There is going to be a Phase 4.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Ding, ding, ding. Confirmed. They all already have directors attached to all these films. They all have a start day and an end day. Do you guys want to know how many movies there are?
How many?
52.
There are 7 movies already planned, which is
But they're very, very secret.
it's a lot,
pretty
very
awesome.
secret.
Yeah.
Here are the movies that are confirmed.
Not a secret anymore. Here we go.
Not a secret. I'll tell you them. but it kind of gives you a hint of what the future after Endgame is going to look like.
Very obscure.
You're like Untitled Movie Project 1.
Some of the I know Project 2, Thanos porno. No, so
Electric
geez,
Boogaloo.
scary. No glove.
No love. Yeah.
Spider-Man: Far From Home. We knew that.
Obviously.
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
The
Cool.
Eternals.
The Eternals.
Will come out after that. Black
geez.
Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, Shang-Chi, and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, it's not-
it'll be releasing in that order.
Not as obscure as
No
I thought.
Ant-Man. No Ant-Man 3.
If you think about it,
Not
like,
yet.
oh yeah, I know those movies are going to come out.
Yeah, I mean, kind of when you think about, because I was like, Black Widow, you've been hearing rumbles for a while. It's really awesome that she's getting her own movie
Yeah.
finally.
The Eternals, I think, are the biggest new thing.
Yeah, the Eternals can get really creative because you can go thousands of years, millennia, millions of years in the past. Because the Eternals are, if you don't know who the Eternals are they kind of hinted them in the movies. I mean, the in the comics, the Grandmaster and the Collector are members of the Eternals because they're like, I mean, they live forever.
Because they are
Eternal,
eternal.
yeah.
So the Eternals is going to be directed by Chloe Zhao.
Mm-hmm.
She is a Chinese filmmaker. She actually won the Independent Spirit Award for Best Director for the movie Rider in 2017.
Nice.
She is,
Welcome to the fam.
Literally, this is going to be her third movie ever.
Well, it's a movie about ancient space people. Awesome.
So it's going to be wild. It's going to be insane. But I think that's the one that I'm excited for. I mean,
Eternals?
obviously, I'm excited about all of them.
Well, because it seems like they're going to some
Daddy
really cool
chill.
things like to speculate before we go into the episode is like it's really awesome to know that Marvel apparently is going to head in a really super different direction
Yeah.
after Endgame. Like they're hinting at like more standalone adventures.
So this really isn't even the end game
Because exactly.
I mean, it could be
And
like
then the
for a lot of the people. I
the
guess,
seven
yeah.
movies will cover you for a year and a half or,
Oh,
or
I
2
don't
years
know.
and a half.
I think this is the next 4 years. If I'm
4
not
years?
mistaken.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess it's 2 movies every year.
like
Yeah,
the Avengers
'cause
franchise itself can
I think there's still some movies that are going to pop in here
Well,
because
'cause I
Guardians is probably going to be.
Well, and then like
way in the future,
far out.
probably
And
like
then-
5 or 6 years out.
and then Captain Marvel 2. They'll
That's true,
sign
that's
that one
gonna
up
be
for
out,
Sure.
yeah.
That's gonna be one.
I do.
Ant-Man 3.
I
Thor
did read
5.
that a lot of the movies that I just list off haven't started shooting yet. So a lot of there may
Can
be
change, that
a
can change.
break. There might be quite a bit of a break behind Spider-Man.
Right, and
you
then if Marvel's
'Cause
kind of
Sony-
earned it.
Sony's
I mean, if
trying
you,
to get their chump change from
Yeah,
Infinity
Venom,
War.
Venom.
that's true. I mean, because
From
Sony is
Endgame, that's
a
why.
wild card here because Sony can decide if they want to
yeah.
fast track like a fucking
Sony
Spider-Man
said that
project.
they have 7
They got
Spider-Man
more.
movies
Mhm.
in the can, like right now, like in his universe, like that they're gonna keep making.
And
The
Venom
Spider-Verse
made
one?
yeah, maybe
Venom made enough money for them to not.
Venom trilogy. Fuck
Yeah, they're not cornered into being like, oh, let's just do whatever Disney and
Yeah.
Marvel want.
Spider-
They're like, hey, we made some money.
Spider-Verse. They're gonna do a Spider-Verse sequel and a spin-off.
Oh, Spider-Verse was so successful. They
Spider-Verse
won
is
an
probably
Oscar.
like the best like Marvel movie that came out last
Disney
year.
XD TV show. Let's do it. Sign it up. You heard it here first.
Anyways, a lot of really exciting things. Phase 4, you know what that means? Another season of Countdown to Infinity and Avengers podcast, baby. All right. Woo!
In a couple of years, I guess we'll let those movies build up.
A couple of years. We're recording like
Yeah,
Next week.
now.
Yeah, we're pre-recording all of these.
I like that movie. It was good. Then insert name here. This week we're talking about Nick Fury, S.H.I.E.L.D.
Joseph
What's his middle name?
Fury.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
Nick Joe Fury.
Yes. Well, first we'll get to his humble beginning. So he is a human.
Okay, cool.
That
So
is-
when was he born? Where was he? No. So let's talk about him in the comic books.
What was he wearing?
I think we talked about in the Captain Marvel episode how even his character in the comic books were drawn to look like Samuel L. Jackson
before he
was cast. And I actually just read that the reason why he was cast was because they used his likeness, and there was an actual tit for tat deal that they made. That like
they ever
with
were gonna
lawyers,
make a
yeah,
movie.
you're like, hey, you used our likeness. We're not going to sue you. We're not going to do anything crazy like that. But if the movie came up, like Samuel L.
have
Jackson
to-
has to be
play him.
and it
course he
worked
has-
out for him, huh?
Yeah, he has to get his foot in every door. He has a foot in every door.
Yeah, there's actually a title. There's a website,
Jurassic
Yeah,
Park.
never mind. They call it the best apology ever.
Star Wars.
And that's when Sam L. Jackson was cast as Nick
Snakes on a
Fury
plane.
because the artists basically used it as a way to say, hey,
Unbreakable.
we didn't copyright infringe your likeness.
Right, yeah.
The Hitman's Bodyguard.
That's really cool. I mean, yeah, because I remember reading the Ultimates before all this Marvel, just as
Fiction.
as a comic. What are you doing?
I'm naming all of Sam Jackson's movies that he's in.
Wait, people know who Sam Jackson
I know,
is.
isn't that crazy?
Who he? So here's
He's like
a
the
list.
most bankable.
He's like a really indie actor.
He's like hands
you guys
down the most bankable star
Yeah.
I think in Hollywood, like history.
Time to talk about Samuel Jackson, and you're right. So here's a list.
The Rock.
Nah,
Here's the list of the highest grossing actors.
and he's the top.
Samuel Jackson, number one with a bullet.
I told you, no, I told you it's 100%.
He's been in lots of franchises.
Oh,
So
yeah.
over $6 billion in Samuel L. Jackson movies. I mean, we named some the Star Wars, the Clancy stuff, the Snakes on the Plane trilogy.
They
The
should've made
Clancy
it
stuff.
Snails
Oh,
on
you're
the
right.
Train.
The sum of all fears.
Yeah.
It's like the Clancy stuff. What the fuck?
His highest
Die
grossing
Hard.
movie is The Avengers. Interesting. Here's
Die
the.
Hard.
I'm going to read the rest of the list since it's already fucking up.
Already fucking up.
Then this, number 2 is Harrison Ford.
What?
4.9 billion.
Because all 9 Star Wars.
I know.
Indy.
Number 3, Robert Downey Jr.
Ugh.
He's only 3 million behind Harrison Ford. So I think
He's
after
gonna-
Endgame,
yeah, he's gonna.
you're going to
pass him.
have Samuel Jackson and Robert Downey Jr. up there.
Sam Jackson is just gonna keep going because he's in Endgame.
Number 4 is Tom Hanks, mostly because of the Toy Story films.
Tom
Interesting.
Spanks.
Morgan Freeman's number 5 because of the Dark Knight series. And then number 6 is Scarlett Johansson.
Nice.
Scarlett
And
Johansson.
again, from the Avengers movies. I'm looking to see who else. I mean,
how many Marvel actors are up here?
Yeah, 14.
Sam Jackson, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson,
14 is Idris Elba.
Heimdall.
Because of Avengers, the Avengers film. Don Cheadle, Vin Diesel. I'm just naming all the...
the Marvel people.
Yeah. Ooh, Dwayne The Rock needs to be in a Marvel movie at some point.
Nope, he's in DC.
Zoe Saldana, Chris Pratt. I'm going to read 2 more because there's a ton of Marvel people on here. Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth. And that's... So I don't know how many people I named off, but that's just in the top 30.
That's pretty cool.
And a lot of them are from the Avengers
Yeah.
films.
It makes total sense. I mean,
They all
these movies make
cameos,
lots of
too.
money.
So it's like Anthony
Money,
Hopkins.
baby. But let's talk about Nick Fury in the comic books. What's his role? Is he still the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this?
Nope.
Does he have superpowers?
He does not. So Nick Fury was created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, that power couple there.
R.I.P.
Who's Stan Lee?
How dare you?
Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. He was created in 1963.
I know Jack Kirby.
But who's the other guy?
I know.
He first appeared in 1963 in a comic book called Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos.
And the Howling.
So it was a World War
Commandos.
II war comic that portrayed, basically Fury as this cigar chomping leader of a special unit, basically in the army.
The Howling Commandos. That sounds familiar.
It was in the first Captain
America
America movie.
With Dum Dugan
but no
and
Nick
Bucky.
Fury.
Bucky.
No Nick Fury was that. Actually, they were. I think leading up to the first Avenger, there were rumors that Nick Fury would make an appearance, fighting alongside the Howling
how old
Commandos.
is he?
Yeah, exactly. And I think they got rid of that.
Benjamin
They got rid of that because obviously it would have been like 100 by the time the Avengers happened.
Yeah.
But
find a way to be young.
But the new iteration of Nick Fury.
so yeah, the original Nick Fury. I mean, the elephant in the room is the original Nick Fury did not look like Sam Jackson. He was kind of like a
he
cigar
looked like David
chomping.
Hasselhoff.
The funny story: David Hasselhoff actually played Nick Fury in a TV movie in the '90s called
Blammy.
Nick Fury,
Told you.
Agent of
And
S.H.I.E.L.D.
we have Nick Fury. We have David Hasselhoff here to talk about
Getting down and dirty when I just kidding. We just fucking play that start.
It's funny because
Sorry,
the funny thing about David Hasselhoff playing Nick Fury is that he did look like the original Nick Fury, like down
Yeah.
to the T.
Yeah, he had the white stripes like
on his head.
The Reed
I saw him with
Richards.
an. Does he have an eye patch?
He has a cigar.
Yeah, an eye
and
patch.
Yeah, I think I
he
saw
looks like
this.
he looks like Pliskin.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what Nick Fury kind of looks like. If you've seen the Escape from New York, he kind of looks like a Kurt Russell-esque
Long
type
hair,
of
don't
character.
care.
Yeah.
Escape from New York. My favorite movie to feature a basketball. Was that the one?
A
That's
basketball.
that's
Escape
Escape
from
from
LA,
LA.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Ooh,
like
ouch.
Airbud.
Well, Space Jam, I guess too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and it's really funny because he thought he was the quintessential Nick Fury, because he had Stan Lee's approval, and Stan Lee was like, "You're the actual Nick Fury."
He does play. He does read all his lines like a comic book
Yeah.
guy.
So when Sam Jackson was cast as Nick Fury years later, Hasselhoff was a little jealous.
Surprise,
It was pretty funny.
motherfucker.
But it's so Nick Fury in the comics operates like the way you think he does. He's the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He's kind of like Batman, like contingency plans,
What does Shield stand for?
Oh shit!
strategic and homeland.
There's a lot of people yelling at their phones right now.
It's different, like in the books, and
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
different.
Is
in
it
the book.
really?
Yeah.
See, the original. It's originally Originally, it was Supreme Headquarters, International Espionage and Law Enforcement Division.
Yeah, bitch.
That sounds weird.
And then in 1991, it was Strategic Hazard Intervention Espionage Logistics Directorate.
Directory.
All right, keep reading them, but then me and Andrew have to come up with a better.
And then now the MCU is Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division. So that's what the S.H.I.E.L.D.
All
means
right, and
now.
here's what I would call it. I would call it somehow. That's S and H. Somehow I eat long dinners.
Okay.
Somehow I eat long dinners. That would have been my shield.
Nice.
It's basically
That was a good
a
one.
spy organization when it was originally created.
You thought I was going to say dick.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, right. Whatever. I know what you're thinking, pervert.
I thought you were gonna say dong.
Somehow I eat long dong.
It was originally like a super spy agency, basically. And then it because it kind of has like that acronym, like the way
The FBI.
like
Federal boobies inspectors.
well, like Spectre
the
or like
CIA.
Smersh or something like that. Like like from like old James Bond, like movies. It's kind of
Yeah.
like in the same vein.
And also, S.H.I.E.L.D. makes it seem like you're a defense or,
Yeah,
And then Hydra.
yeah.
Ooh.
See, they fight like an
What does Hydra
organization
stand
called
for?
Hydra.
It stands for hygienic. Here's getting it out of
Young
Yeah.
dong.
Damn.
Really ass.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, so S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, you're
is
having a stroke.
they're a group of humans, right? And they're kind of this military/science operation that protects, I guess, or are they like specifically a United States organization
it's
or
like
something? or-
unit in Doctor Who.
I think like they're kind of global.
They're kind of like the Men in Black mixed with like the FBI or the Special Forces. FBI.
Like-
FBI.
like Rip PD?
yeah, RIPD. Yeah.
Oh man, that movie didn't do well.
No, it didn't. Sorry,
and
Ryan
but
Reynolds.
but they so okay. Well, let's talk about the S.H.I.E.L.D. in general in the Marvel Cinematic
Captain
Universe.
America throws it.
Yes.
You're welcome.
So S.H.I.E.L.D. is an organization that started by some OG. I would say I don't want to say all superheroes, but some OG minds in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right, yeah.
You had Stark,
Yeah, Peggy Carter,
Peggy Hill.
Howard Stark, not so much Tony Stark.
Yeah, Howard Stark,
Played by Dominic Cooper and
Peggy Carter.
and
Oh.
John Slattery.
John Slattery.
You have Peggy Carter, who's played by Haley Atwell. I
Haley
know we're
Atwell.
gonna be.
I think you
Wait,
had
name 'em all.
Ant-Man.
You had Hank Pym. No, you had Hank Pym working for him at one point. It's not really
He's
like
kind of like the first superhero
Yeah.
working for Shield.
Shield, right? Yeah.
Besides Cap, I guess.
Yeah.
Cap, but Shield wasn't created then, right? Or was it? No, it wasn't.
No, and then
After.
So that
Yeah,
was
I
kind of
guess,
yeah.
it was started. It was basically implied that it started soon after the Captain America, the first Captain
Yeah.
America movie.
They needed someone to protect them since Captain America was on ice.
Yeah, he was like the first agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of.
Yeah, and then as you found out in Captain Marvel, they don't really kind of deal with like these paranormal or like unexplainable threats.
Yeah.
Which you see in
Well,
that movie.
They've only really encountered, unless we see something else crazy later on, they've only really encountered the Tesseract
Right.
in that up until the 80s, 1980s.
Right, yeah. And
Yeah.
the 90s and stuff. I mean, yeah, they do deal with it. It's implied that Ant-Man was working for them,
And this whole time, Hydra's everywhere inside of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, exactly.
All up
and
inside
everything's
it.
Fucking around in there.
Fucking around all up inside it.
And that's why I think Civil War was such a, not Civil War, Winter Soldier was so insane, is because we had seen S.H.I.E.L.D. and we were so comfortable with what they did. And to just fuck it up with,
It
Hydra's
really,
all up in there.
Yeah, that was probably the best thing about that movie because
Yeah.
it really does away with that whole organization in general. Shield doesn't exist. I mean, it kind of does since like there's a
Yeah.
show called Agents of Shield. So.
Yeah, and that fuck up happened. Not fuck up, but that whole Hydra thing happened.
fuckery.
That fuckery happened during Agents of Shield too. So you're like, oh man, how's the TV show gonna fucking deal
That was
with this?
really awesome too because they brought out Hive.
Yeah, I was
Fucking
still
amazing.
watching it during that
It
time.
was amazing.
Yeah, and it was really funny because the funny thing about that show is like Feige thought it was like a weird idea when they pitched Agents of Shield
Yeah.
to like Marvel because he was like, well, we're about to destroy Shield in the Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
so go for it. Like
It's
Fuck
odd.
it. Fuck it.
Fuck it up. Outside of that, it is odd too because it's a TV show. It still has a lot. Unlike Marvel Cinematic Universe movies that will just continue forever because they're going to make a ton of money. ABC still has to approve seasons with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
So it's kind of weird that they're not as safe as the movies are.
They're not, yeah.
And where ABC can be, let's pull the plug whenever they want, or like, oh, the ratings weren't that great, let's move it here. So it's kind of weird because you think of it as being a part of this Marvel cinematic thing.
Right.
And you're like, man, that's weird that
Well,
they have to literally introduce things or change things
Because
or
of the way the movies are.
Yeah, you're like, you're not. It's a TV show.
They stopped doing that recently, and I think it's a smart move because like they weren't getting
it
the
was
recognition
from the Ghost Rider stuff on.
Yeah, like they stopped getting recognition from the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So they started to pivot in a way where like they're just not going to reference those movies anymore,
Yeah.
which is smart because like the two different production schedules is hectic. Like, you know, a movie you film in 6 months and stuff like that.
TV
Like,
show you
shows
film in a
really
week.
quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in a
really,
week
really
you're done.
quickly.
It's super odd though, because like in the show, like Nick Fury's in the show, like he comes.
He
out.
does,
Yeah,
yeah. He
yeah.
actually cameos like
One of the only
in
ones.
two of the
What-
episodes.
No, and Kobe Smulders is in there too, and
Yeah.
Lady
Maria
Sif
Hill.
from Thor.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then after a while, you stop seeing them because, like, again, like Marvel is like, oh, maybe it's not really canon. Like, because
Yeah.
Feige was like, well, the Marvel TV thing is its own thing.
Yeah.
so they're like, no Netflix, cancel all them.
Yeah. It's kind of
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You're next.
well, one of the I remember watching the early seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a lot of times they were just dealing with like Chitauri stuff.
Yeah, like aftermath of Avengers stuff, really. Yeah.
To me, it really starts to pick up when like you find out that guy is August Richards. He's Deathlock, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, like this is awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about all of that happening technically during
Yeah,
everything else that's happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But one of the cool things about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is it keeps them from disappearing because there are a lot of movies where they don't mention S.H.I.E.L.D. at all. After Winter Soldier, S.H.I.E.L.D. is in disarray.
Technically
So
dead.
what-
Not
they
there
kind
anymore.
of come out in Age of Ultron,
Yeah.
a little bit, where that's like they're like,
The
hey, we're still
helicarrier?
around,
Yeah.
maybe.
And there's this kind of weird, just like government agency that has taken its place. The same ones that
By
jail
Martin-
everyone.
Oh, it was like by
in Civil
Martin
War.
Freeman,
They have that. Yeah, they have that jail that's really
the Raft.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy that it is. Like Shield is gone, but there's something that kind of
Right, yeah.
takes its place, anyways.
It's run by
The man.
General Ross.
the
or whatever.
Sokovia Accords.
Yeah,
God, I should.
Sokovia, according to.
I should have never signed those Sokovia Accords. I can't go out there and fuck shit up. But yeah, so Shield's a really heavy part in the early MCU.
And naturally too, because I mean, you play even
Yeah.
you play a Marvel video game, and there's like a Shield presence. There's a helicarrier. It's iconic. Like
Yeah.
with those first early Avengers movies, it really does. It does feel complete because of it. I remember when we watched the first Avengers movie in theaters, and the initial shot of the helicarrier going up into the sky was
Yeah.
amazing because you're just like you knew it was going to happen. Because that has to happen.
Yeah.
Especially if you have like an Avengers movie, and it was awesome.
And
Like,
it honestly is the reason why there's an Avengers movie. Without Shield and Fury
To
They
bring
wouldn't
them
have been
together.
able to put
no, yeah,
they
you
would've
just have
put
random
together.
ass people,
fighting
fighting
each other.
fighting
It would
each
have been
other.
Civil War all the time.
all the time.
Yeah, that's really the thread to bring these movies
Yeah.
to bring those heroes together because it's like someone Nick Fury was watching behind the scenes
Yeah.
like
He even
through all
uses-
those events of those early
He
movies.
uses Coulson straight up.
Yeah,
Like,
early
fuck
MCU, Coulson and Nick Fury. You were waiting for them to show up at the end, or in the case of Iron Man, like 2, the entire movie.
Well,
Yeah.
and-
But you were waiting to see them appear so that you knew it was part of the bigger.
the bigger picture.
narrative.
well,
Yeah.
and they even throw in like Shield, like, hey, Black Widow,
Yeah.
get over there.
Oh, peop-
Hawkeye, get in there.
Oh yeah,
you know?
people were like Googling Shield and like, who are these people that are in it for like 5
Yeah.
seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they knew that something big was really going to happen. And Nick Fury I mean, some of the cool things about Captain Marvel is it shows a lot of Nick Fury, and it kind of shows the inspiration for the Avengers initiative. It's one
Yeah.
of the scenes at the end of the movie.
And it shows you why he's not really like he's kind of desensitized to all the weirdness that's
Yeah.
going on in later Avenger movies. Like there's obviously a dude with
yeah,
a metal suit
He
flying
knows about
around. and-
scrolls and shit.
yeah, and like there's a guy with a giant hammer, and
Yeah.
so it does really set that all up, which is like a really cool part.
It puts a lot of what he wants to do in context too, because in Avengers, part of the whole thing is he's trying to control them and manipulate them, but just try to get them to do what they need to do. But it's because he does understand how big the universe is after Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
To know like, hey, there's stuff out there.
Shows you how he lost his eye.
Yeah. That's true. That's one of the bits of contention for some people. But how
It
does
is kinda
how does
weird.
he lose it in the comic books?
I actually don't know. I didn't look that up. I should probably
he
do
eats
it.
it. He has to eat it one day when he's stranded on an island.
Oh, in the Saw comic books, right?
I'm gonna pick my eye.
And he says, "I see you, stomach," and
Yeah.
he eats it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he loses it in the book because of in the movie because of the well, I was gonna say the cat, the flirkin, yeah. But yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it was good. I like how like at first he was in a car accident and they made his eye really red. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, for sure he's gonna lose his eye like this.
No.
He's like, no, I'm okay.
And I think it's funny because later on in a lot of in the Avengers series, people are probably like, "Oh, he's a freaking battle-worn
Yeah.
hero."
Yeah, exactly. And he does say that. He's like, the last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye.
It's funny. It was just the cat.
Yeah, he's trusting Goose the Flurkin.
I do have a
cat.
question. This might be a Captain Marvel question,
Maybe.
for that movie. But what happens to the Tesseract after? Do we know
No,
how it ends up where it ends up?
They recruit Selvig to kind of research it before the first Avengers in an
Yeah.
after credit scene, and that's how Loki gets possession of it for the Avengers. But it's implied that it's locked down by S.H.I.E.L.D. So between 1995 to
2012.
2012, it's in S.H.I.E.L.D. possession, and they can still keep going if they want to.
Because we've
It's
seen
not-
that we saw the Tesseract go down, or we saw it in wherever the F.
Yeah, Cap dropped it off at the
during
beginning
the
of
Ameri- yeah.
at the end of the first Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped it in the sea, and they said Howard Stark found it, so it was in S.H.I.E.L.D. possession maybe up until then, and maybe a Skrull went in there and took it for Marvel, or Marvel just got clearance to use it from S.H.I.E.L.D. maybe.
Yeah.
I just found out how he lost his eye in the
Oh
comics. It's pretty
John,
simple.
You're back.
He gets it shot.
John, you're back from the library.
So what do you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. It's kind of
From the
vague, but
S.H.I.E.L.D.
like
database.
no, it's just during World War II. There's a grenade that explodes, and he's affected by it.
He catches it with his eye. No, just kidding.
And throws it back with
Yeah,
his eye.
He jumps on the grenade like Captain America style, but with his face.
Well, if he only lost one eye, that's really lucky from a
Yeah,
grenade.
exactly.
Are you kidding
He
me?
was super far away.
in World War II, right? Of all places, yeah. It's
a
kinda
little
crazy.
piece of it
a
landed
little
in his
metal,
eye.
like, ooh, fuck, like tetanus in my eye.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what the big flack is. That's not that much more heroic than
Then
Getting a
it
scratch.
a scratch from a cat.
a flirkin.
I do want to highlight in Captain Marvel, since we're talking about him being younger, what they had to do to make him
Young?
The
Ooh,
de-aging process?
the de-aging, which also happened for Coulson too. But Coulson, you can notice it more on Coulson than you can on
Because of his faux hawk
on
and his receding hairline.
on Fury. You definitely notice it on Clark Gregg.
Well, and they used it before on, Michael Douglas.
Douglas.
They used it on Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr. They've used it on quite a bit of people.
Yeah, they.
the Robert Downey Jr. one is unreal because he looks like the way he was in the 80s. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Michelle
so
Pfeiffer.
crazy.
Michelle
Yeah,
Pfeiffer
doing lots
too.
of drugs.
So in the MCU, they've already done this a
Hey,
lot. They did use the same team ILM that did Rogue One, where they brought someone back from the dead. In
General Tarkin and Princess
Ooh,
Leia.
that's a little bit of a weird one. Yeah, or that was weird in that movie.
I said two people, Princess Leia and General Tarkin.
Leia wasn't
so one
dead?
of the things
Not
that,
yet? Oh, nice.
so Ryan Fleck, one of the directors of Captain Marvel, said that normally you use a completely different body double who's younger,
Right.
and you do a lot of CGI. But because Sam was in shape, all they had to do, and it sounds weird that they say all they had to do because this seems like a lot of work.
was
to me.
add 50 pounds of makeup.
So he was him. It was him acting in all those scenes. But they hand painted every shot Jackson was in to strip away some of the years, and they used
The crow's feet.
the 1998's The Negotiator as a model for
Oh,
what he would
nice.
look like.
Nice.
You're like,
yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
And it's funny this says all you can because I was like that's a lot of work to go frame by frame and hand paint someone's face, but I guess it's not as much work as CGI.
Me and Drew were kind of wondering why they didn't use Die Hard with a Vengeance as a model, since that
Yeah,
was actually
exactly.
in 1995.
Interesting.
Boom.
Yeah.
How dare they? How dare you, Marvel?
Like they
I'm
looked
just
at,
kidding.
but I guess
Maybe his look was more.
the look was more
similar.
of like and the Negotiator
yeah,
was
but
obviously.
you can
know.
definitely tell he's like 2,000 years old because he's like on the scenes where he's running. You're like,
Yeah.
ooh man, he's not running.
I mean, he is running. He's just like,
Yeah.
but of course, I mean, because the scenes like that, I guess, that never let you forget that
Yeah.
this is obviously like an effect,
fiction.
a
A
special
fiction.
effect. But it did look amazing. Like I couldn't notice it that second time I was watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked
Coulson,
really
like I
good.
said, Coulson was a little bit noticeable,
Faux hawk.
but you can't really tell because he's man. Maybe they just paid more attention to Fury because he's like a main character in the movie, and Coulson is kind of like a cameo.
Coulson's dead already.
So
Coulson shows his loyalty in this film early on.
Right.
Later on, we're going to see how
It's
that
really cool to have him back and see him again. Really awesome.
alive.
Yeah, I mean, because he is on.
Hey, I got a question.
He
How
is
did
on
they?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
How do they explain? I've seen like the first couple seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I don't remember how they explain that he came back
They
from
used
the dead.
Kree blood.
Yeah,
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's why it messes him up or whatever. But yeah,
Oh, I remember that he has like
he starts writing on the walls.
issues.
Kree.
Interesting because they.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
they use the Kree in
Shield
Agents of
has like
S.H.I.E.L.D.
a dead Kree body, right? That they've been like getting blood off of in that show.
Yeah, it's pretty
basically.
gross.
And then it's kind of like canon in a way, but not really canon because they don't ever explain it. And
Yeah.
I think Whedon and Feige said too, like, Coulson is dead in the movies.
Yeah, because that's one of the biggest things is he was very close to Iron Man. He was very close to a lot of characters
Right.
Yeah.
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if you come back from the dead, it's kind of weird that you wouldn't ever
Talk to
them, or because that's kind of weird. Because even he was like the reason the Avengers kind of got their shit
Assembled.
together.
Assembled.
Right, yeah. And I think it's just really funny. But and then you have episodes like where Nick Fury came out, like at the very end of like I think season 2 or whatever.
Bill
when,
Paxton.
yeah,
Rest
like
in peace.
he's fighting alongside Coulson, and it's just weird because he's like Coulson, Fury like had this plan all along for him. Basically, it was supposed to be for an Avenger. That resurrection thing was eventually supposed to be like for a fallen Avenger. Like if an Avenger ever died, they would bring him back to life using Kree blood.
Oh, why don't they just use it now for the
It
snapping?
was called Wake Up Juice.
But and then after that, they never showed Fury again, which is really funny because they asked Samuel Jackson, like, are you going to make more episodes or make more appearances on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
He's
Yeah.
like, if they send me some checks,
Well, no, he didn't say that. He said, like,
Capital One, what's in your wallet?
it should be my show. He was like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I
I'm in
should be
charge
on
of
that
the
show.
Shield, yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
let's
but
do
like
it.
at the very end of the day, it's because like he's a movie star. You like the whole budget's going to
You're
go to his
They
like
don't have enough money, yeah.
yeah to shoot him because he was just wondering the same thing. He was like, yeah, that should be my show. Like,
Well, what's the state of S.H.I.E.L.D. now? Is it even anything in
I don't know. I
name?
haven't seen it in
Or
years.
is it no, not the show, but
Oh, okay.
in the Marvel
we
Cinematic
haven't seen
Universe
it in years.
by the time Infinity War, or is it just literally Nick Fury and his like group
and
of
his
people,
pal.
Colby Smulders,
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
just I guess it's just
The
Nick
mother.
Fury and Maria Hill. There's hints that there's like
where they get their money from.
there's resources somewhere, yeah, because like
Yeah.
they're talking to someone even at the end of Infinity War where they're talking to someone.
He's
like
got that
Kel-
beeper.
Yeah, or no, but even like when they're driving in the car, he tells Maria Hill like tell blah 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 to meet us at this location.
tell
and it's like
Victor
that.
Von Doom.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird. Like, what's their role even now? Because do they just drive around like spreading rumors? Like, I saw this thing once.
They're like super duper secret now. I guess like
They're
in
like,
this
we
case,
saved the
like-
world, and they don't even know that we saved it.
Because one of the things that Samuel L. Jackson said recently, and this could be just to hype it up, but he says he's not in Endgame at all. So
I think that might be just
I
misdirection.
think that's a lie because I think everybody's in Endgame.
like
Every single person.
Deadpool is in Endgame.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. X is in Endgame.
Yeah.
Professor X. So that's
Dr. X.
And part of me thought though after they said this, like, why would he be in Endgame? Like, what would be other than Captain Marvel?
or for like a quick cameo.
What can he even bring to the table against Thanos?
He should fight Thanos, fist fight him.
Oh my god! Yeah, lose his other eye.
And that makes sense too. I mean, if he's not in Endgame, it makes sense because like the movies are already like jam packed
Yeah.
full of characters.
What's he gonna do?
And
Like
even
drive?
even the way Infinity War was, I mean, some characters literally were on screen like for a total of like 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
So like others obviously were main characters, but you only saw like Black Widow like in Infinity War didn't really do much like other than a few
Shots
fight scenes.
fired. She fought.
I'm not saying that as like a bad
Proxima Midnight.
I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I mean, I really would have liked some more Black Widow there. It's just that the movie kind of had to obviously prioritize some storylines over others.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's true. One, it's hard to just stick to one person, and then that's why I think it was easy. It's going to be easier for this new one because they're like, we eliminated half the cast.
Yeah,
And
seriously.
now-
until the very end, and then they have to bring them back.
And
yeah.
then the tracking shot of like
Yeah.
every single person
like
that's
80
ever
people,
been.
Well,
just in one
Jeff
shot.
Bridges, come in here. Happy
That
Hogan, John
circle thing.
Favreau.
Well, that's one of the big things, and that's why people think it is a big wrap up for a lot of the older characters. Is the ones who they're saving are people who are in future movies. So you're like, okay, I'm cool.
Who can
I'm going
we
to see
still
more
make
of them.
money off of?
Yeah. Who isn't too expensive anymore? But yeah. Well, let's talk about our favorite Nick Fury, and I would just open it up to Shield, but I mean, mine is a Nick Fury moment.
But Nick Fury built S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, from the
Okay.
ground up
Kind of, sort of.
in the '80s, because
Not really.
well, I think one
He
of the
just
things
became the director.
Well, I think one of the things
Damn,
got
but he
Marvel.
was so good that He became director.
He says that like all they do, they sit behind desks and investigate, and that he became kind of this more proactive,
Like field person.
field dude.
Who doesn't dress in suits anymore?
and-
By Avengers time,
It's
he's
true.
like in a trench coat, which
Yeah.
is kind
and
of
then
weird.
he looks like Pliskin again. What?
Were
we
you
about
say
to
and say-
harmonize?
oh my god! Okay, here we go.
to harmonize your ums.
Hold on, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3.
So
I
what are you
can't
doing?
find you,
I'll
sorry.
find you.
Okay, I'll go.
We forgot to go through the villains and
Huh?
we forgot to go through the villains of Shield.
We were just about to drop our mixtape, but okay,
Oh.
whatever.
Yeah,
let's
okay,
go to the
fine.
villain. Let's,
Yeah, I
let's do
guess.
it.
I get-
Let's fucking
whatever.
talk about the villains of Shield. We talked about Coulson already. We talked about.
Coulson's not a villain.
Yeah, he is. He lied.
He was a scroll. You're like,
He could be a scroll.
So I guess we just say Hydra. That's about it.
All
We're
of
good.
Hydra.
and that is it.
In
Ultron
the movies,
bots.
yeah.
Just kidding.
In the movies, Hydra, obviously.
Hail
seems like
Hydra.
Ultron bots and Thanos.
Loki.
Loki
is a
Sure.
It
yeah.
seems like
And
he's
Hawkeye.
kind of.
Hawkeye for a little bit.
He seems like he's
That's
kind
true.
of fighting the World Security Council in that first Avengers movie. So, like, some bureaucratic villains there.
Yep.
So,
he still fights them.
So
Kind of.
so is the guy that blew up the Sokovia Accords.
Adrian Pierce.
Yeah.
Adrian
just
Pierce,
kidding.
yeah. Or Alexander Pierce.
Yeah, Alexander.
Adrian Pierce.
Kind of against Shield.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah,
I
Shield
guess-
versus Shield. There you
Yeah.
go. So that's pretty much it when it comes to like the villains of Shield. Most of they have. I'm assuming there's more villains in the comics. Like the Serpent Society and shit like that.
Captain America's girlfriend is in Shield. She's part of that Nick Fury group. Peggy
Agent
Carter's
13.
Which one?
daughter, or
Oh yeah, Sharon Carter.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's also an ally of Shield. She's Agent 13, right?
Agent.
Abed
13.
from Community. is in
Troy and
Shield.
Abed in the morning.
Danny Pudi makes a cameo as a Shield agent there.
Yeah.
That dude who plays Galaga.
He's in Shield.
Yeah, he's in Shield.
Oh yeah, for real.
They're very nervous dude from the Winter Soldier, which does make an appearance in.
Yeah, the one that Crossbone wants to kill.
Yeah, Crossbones in Winter Soldier wants to shoot the hell out of this really nerdy like tech guy, and then he actually makes a cameo in Age of Ultron as like a
That's
very
true.
nervous like
Winter Soldier's an enemy of Shield for sure.
the Winter Soldier. Yeah, you're right. Shit, I just missed that.
Huh.
True.
Interesting.
Winter's
interesting,
coming.
Artem Zola.
Artem
Arnim
Zola.
Zola.
Yeah.
Boom. We're coming up with a bunch more
Yeah,
villains
no,
than I
Yeah.
thought Shield had.
Kevin Kline's character.
Kevin Kline.
Calvin Klein.
No, it's not from Robert Redford's character.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
just
we
said.
did.
what'd
Alexander
you say?
Pierce. I
Alexander
said
Pierce.
Alexander Pierce.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah.
So Shield itself is its own worst enemy.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
That's about it. And we actually went down to the allies here
They have
too.
the
so-
Abomination in custody. I'm just kidding.
So let's go to our favorite Nick Fury Shield moments. Cool.
Favorite Nick Fury moment. Go.
Mine is
What is
mine
yours?
is in Winter Soldier. I mean,
guess we kind of went over the supporting cast, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, we kind of
I
went
was
through
like,
it too.
huh.
Nick Fury when he's in his SUV and
Fuck
it's the moment
you.
where
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
You took my fucking
Fuck
moment.
you.
Fuck you.
it's that shift when Hydra starts to
Yeah.
attack, execute
you,
Order 60.
You stole my moment.
But it's when Nick Fury is
Yeah,
in
he
his
pulls out the minigun. I know.
SUV, yeah,
Fuck you.
and it's just really good.
Yeah,
'Cause
such
he-
an awesome moment.
Yeah, for
Like
human,
trying to kill his
for-
moment. You're just
well,
like, no, he did this. No,
Yeah,
he did that.
Just
I'm
a regular
gonna take
human.
over.
Y'all are mansplaining each other.
No, let me tell you what I mean though. But yeah, that's my favorite moment.
You know what's crazy is that scene is actually in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the show. Like they kind of
Oh yeah, yeah.
It.
It's really cool.
That was the
It's like
first
an
time where
actual
like
scene
you
in
saw
the
that
show.
scene and you're like, whoa.
It's because things are starting to hit the fan, right? Like Shield agents are starting to fight each other and stuff, and then they
Yeah.
show that scene like in Agents of Shield, like which is a really cool little like I guess that was like the most it's ever tied into the movies, really. Like during that era. After that, it gets weird. There's Ghost Rider comes along and shit like that.
That's canon.
They go into space.
Andrew, what's your favorite Nick Fury or Shield moment?
My favorite.
There's only two left. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm trying to.
No, there's not. There's
I'm
quite a
trying to
bit.
think- I'm trying to think real hard. I think my favorite Nick Fury and Shield moment is probably his very first appearance at the end of Iron Man.
Oh, that's really
because
good.
He
I
just, like
just
literally
it's
took
just,
mine.
It's just because I remember feeling like a kid, like, oh, this is only a one and done Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
And then I remember it happening like the after credits, and everyone was so confused. Like,
Yeah.
does that mean there's gonna be like a real Avengers movie? Like, there's no way. Like, this is just a tease.
People were like, "Who's that guy?"
yeah.
I don't even think Marvel knew that. They were just like, this is just
Yeah.
fun, like a little tease for the fans.
And
like,
I remember like that was one of the most like it was one of the most crazy times I think seeing a movie, and like that's one of the few instances where like I couldn't stop thinking about that movie like afterwards just because of what he said and what I guess it
And it really set up this weird cat and mouse with Nick Fury and Iron Man and Stark.
Yeah.
Because for a while, remember when he was like, you can't be in S.H.I.E.L.D.? Remember that?
Yeah,
He was like- and then he was like, oh,
Iron Man,
you have
shoot.
to be in S.H.I.E.L.D. now. And I was like, whoa, that's so weird. Who is this guy that he's telling Iron Man he can't be in the thing that he's trying to do?
I wonder, like that probably sent audiences for like for a loop though, because like obviously Sam Jackson walks out as Nick Fury, and I wonder if from people who haven't read the Ultimates at that point, like we're probably thinking like Nick Fury, like Samuel Jackson is Nick Fury, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But Andrew and I knowing like from reading those graphic novels, or their issues, I guess, because Nick Fury is actually modeled after Samuel Jackson in the Ultimate comics. It's just really exciting to see that actually happening on screen. Like it's fucking epic.
Well, and it was just again. I think it was between this and they had the short film. The a funny thing happened on the way to Thor's
those
hammer.
short films are actually pretty cool.
So
that one's a cool one.
That one's a
funny
really
thing.
cool moment, and it really shows you
Coulson.
what I think a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent is capable of. Because I think that's like the most badass you ever see a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Like
Coulson. in
yeah,
general,
for sure. And it's one of the I think defining moments for S.H.I.E.L.D. as an organization. Anyway, like if he's like this, then imagine how everybody else is, type thing or whatever. But that first Iron Man end of credits scene is just epic. Again, I just can't even say enough good things about it even today.
And later on, John's going to read us the list. Or did you already read the list of all the movies he's
I haven't
in?
actually. We probably should have done that before our favorite movies.
No, it's over now.
You
I'm
can,
just kidding.
if you have it, you can. If not, you can do your favorite scene and we can stall. You want us to stall?
No, I'm going to go ahead and actually read them right now. So
Airline food. Just kidding.
So Nick Fury has been in, obviously in a lot of these MCU movies. He first appears in Iron Man at the end credits. He appears in Iron Man 2 as a supporting character because he's pretty central to that.
This is good because maybe you'll know what your favorite scene is based on
from
this
just
list.
like reading it. Yeah. So he in Iron Man 2, there's he's obviously in Iron Man 2. I don't know why I had to repeat that.
In Iron Man 2, he's in it.
So in Iron Man 2, he's no, I'm just playing. He makes a cameo in the post-credits scene of Thor when he's talking to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Go back to Iron Man 2. Technically, Black Widow is a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
I heard that
Iron Man.
already.
You guys literally just got my favorite, but no, because that's a Black Widow moment, technically. So
Your Kodak moment.
that's weird. I mean, we're talking about Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D., but we can't talk about. It's not that we can't talk about it, but I was like, I almost went towards. So now I guess I give you a spoilers for our Black Widow episode. My favorite Black Widow moment would probably be that. Iron Man.
Whoa. Spoiler alert.
Andrew, you can't take that.
I'm going to take
that
it.
moment.
I'm going to say it like where you're going to forget. Bet.
Anyway, he was in Thor at the very end. He talks to Selbig about the Tesseract. He is at the end of Captain America: The First Avenger. He basically calms Steve Rogers down during that scene. When, he's
S.H.I.E.L.D. is who
fucking
gets
pissed off.
Rogers. They're the ones who get him.
Yeah, they were deceiving his ass.
What
like,
are
just
the
like
odds that the only baseball game they're playing is the one he went to?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, I love that oh shit moment from the nurse. Like, oh fuck, like we just fucked up big time.
Seriously, what a fuck up! Like,
Yeah.
why would you even? Make that,
Shield's not that
have
great
that
in
risk?
that case. They're not that investigative.
I would have been playing something in Spanish, like something that he didn't
Well,
understand. Goal!
They spent all this money. They set up this huge ass set for him, and it takes him a minute after he wakes up to realize they had that nurse dress up, and man, it took like 5 seconds. But yeah, go down.
It was just undone pretty quickly. So he was there.
I respect women.
The next time he appears is in the Avengers, where he's pretty obviously central to that plot
Huge
too.
part of it, yeah.
Yeah, there are very iconic S.H.I.E.L.D. moments in that movie because prior to the Avengers, everyone is kind of wearing suits. For some reason, in the Avengers, everyone's wearing their S.H.I.E.L.D. jumpsuits. They're the kind of like blue jumpsuits, really. Like Maria Hill's wearing one.
They have logos.
Yeah, they have logos, and everybody else on the ship is like wearing one. The S.H.I.E.L.D. logo itself becomes a little bit more comic booky. Because before it was kind of like realistic in a way.
I think that's one of the things that made me think that it's an American organization because the logo is like a bald
an
eagle.
Yeah. So it probably is an American
stars
one.
and stripes.
I mean, it was made by the
Allies.
Yeah. What was it called? The scientists? Forgot the fucking hell. I can't think of it. But so he's pretty central to the Avengers. He's pretty important in that movie. The next time he appears is in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Which he's a big plot point in that one. Like he's kind of assassinated or seemed to be assassinated by Hydra.
He was the big inciting incident for that.
Yeah, exactly.
movie.
And then and then you find out that like Shield has been taken over, infiltrated by Hydra, which is one of the best twists of like
and he starts
of any of these movies.
He finds those clues way before everyone else.
Right, yeah. And so that's really fucking awesome. Yeah, because he's been investigating that apparently for months.
And when when they tried to kill him, it was way before Hydra tried to kill all the other agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So he had to pretend to be dead.
Yeah. So in that one, it's implied that Fury is going to, kind of leave, like to go and hunt down other Hydra agents, I guess. In this case, he's going to become a spy again. He actually burns his eye patch at one point. Which is weird because he has it again at the very end of Endgame, right? Or Infinity War.
Yeah, that's true.
So like he must have multiple ones. In Age of Ultron, that's the next movie that Nick Fury makes an appearance on. He's basically a mentor character to the Avengers, like the way he always has been, but kind of like advising in a, well, I guess in a mentor type
like a
role.
Pick me up, like they're all like pretty.
They're all down, and he just like out of nowhere just appears
like, Dad.
He shows up out of nowhere in
Daddy chill.
in like Hawkeye's barn. So like Hawkeye has him on speed dial, or like he's probably one of his drinking buddies or something.
So do you think that Nick Fury just knows about
what's going on? He's a very
he's got ears everywhere.
Outside of the
you better keep
it would be
both
insane.
eyes
It would be
open.
it'd be insane if Captain Marvel's in constant contact with him during all this.
Well, even
shit.
that goes to like a line that Tony says in the original Avengers movie, like he's the spy. Like his secrets have secrets.
Yeah.
So like he's probably keeping tabs on everybody.
Spicy.
He's probably keeping tabs on like everybody.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe to the point where like it's
He's
probably
got trackers on everybody.
yeah,
Probably.
and they probably don't know it, but he's obviously like knows what's going on.
He's like, you remember that physical?
After Age of Ultron, he does not appear again until Infinity War.
Wow, that's a long break.
Yeah, that is. I mean, actually, it's only a couple of. Oh no,
Well,
it's like it's a 3-year break.
In
Actually,
the trailer for Spider-Man.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, and then the next thing after, I mean, Infinity War, we all know what happens to him there. He gets snapped away.
I want to see him in Black Panther. I want to see him in Doctor Strange. You know what I'm saying? In Ant-Man. I'm trying to see him in those.
He said he wanted to be in Black Panther. He's like, why wasn't I in Black Panther?
Oh, he did say that?
Yeah.
Sam Jackson?
Yeah.
And that makes sense, too. Like, Sam Jackson wants to be in everything, really. Like, but
he also does say that and this is kind of going to the future of Nick Fury, he said he wants to be in as many Marvel movies as he can be. He's okay going all the way up until he's 80-something years old.
Yeah, he seems to really be enjoying. I'm not sure if that's like but I think he just wants to be in the spotlight, really. Yeah. Like, I mean, because
add to that budget total.
Well, no, it's not a bad thing. I mean, I remember when he was saying about like Star Wars, like he wanted his character to be brought back for The Force Awakens.
Yeah,
and his logic was like, well, your character died. And like his logic was, he's a Jedi. He could have landed on his feet somewhere. And I'm like,
true.
Okay,
sorry, I just came back from. Well, also with Star Wars though, everyone comes back as a fucking hologram spirit. Like everyone fucking comes back.
But why would like Mace Windu come back as a hologram?
He's fighting for his fucking life.
Yeah, I don't know what Mace Windu's force
like
power
importance was. I mean, other than just being a really cool, powerful like Jedi.
No, he was in lightsaber skill. They said he was the best, like better
best
than Yoda.
And also, if you think about it, he's like one of the first ones to be really skeptical of Anakin. He did not. Trust,
you're right.
He did not trust him as a kid. He's like, that boy's crazy.
In one of the comics recently, he's able they take apart his lightsaber so that way he can't use it.
Yeah, and
he puts it together with the Force not being able to see it, and he puts everything in its right place and is able to escape by.
Yeah, I think. So screw you, John. Mace Windu's for life.
Okay, so
I bought his lightsaber as a kid, and it got stolen at church camp. I know.
Oh shit! That person who stole those one bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
Oh, he's also
Shaft.
Yeah, he was.
Listen, guys, if you have it, you can still return it to me. I don't hold any grudges.
You think they're listening to this now?
Oh, for
crazy.
sure. Yeah. This sicko.
Fuck you.
This sicko has my lightsaber in his hand.
He said a sicko.
This freak is probably stroking the lightsaber listening to this podcast right now, knowing that he stole it from me.
Man, that's a little
John,
excessive.
it's a toy, John. He's stroking a toy.
But I get your emotional attachment to your Mace Windu lightsaber.
Nick Fury lightsaber.
The next time Fury appears, obviously after Infinity War, is Captain Marvel. We do talk about that in the Captain Marvel episode, and we talk.
Great to see him hold up a movie.
Yeah, and it's really awesome because he does have some of his best comedic moments in that movie. So that was really cool. The next time he will appear will be in Spider-Man: Far From Home, because he's going to be
because he might be in Endgame.
He might be an Endgame. Yeah,
I feel
don't
like
really know.
I feel like he should be because if Captain Marvel returns because of Fury
She has to have
reaching
like
out,
a scene.
there's got to
like,
be
yeah.
some kind of resolution there.
I can see him actually being an Endgame. He might have just been misdirection. I mean, he did say that Captain Marvel can time travel, so like
Yeah.
that's why she flies to the future. But it's really probably not that at all. Like he's
Yeah.
probably just doing.
She's
like,
probably on a planet like Interstellar,
Yeah.
where 1 second is 3 years.
I mean, that's probably why she hasn't aged. She's got all that Kree blood, and then like it. I mean, she's been
Boom.
traveling like on different parts of the universe, so
Yeah.
like that makes sense. So yeah, Fury's been in all of those movies, and will be in that Spider-Man movie.
Would you say he's in the more movies than any other character in the MCU? I think so. You
I
listed
think
off a ton of
Yeah,
characters,
I think
though.
so. I think what would be the other person that's been there? Like
Downey
there's-
Jr.'s
Man,
been
Iron
in
Man,
3,
Incredible
3 and
Hulk.
3, so that's 6, and the cameo in Incredible Hulk and
Civil War.
Civil War. So he's in Civil
That's
War.
true, and he
and
gets
then-
to be in all of those.
And then what's
in-between
that
ones.
after credit scene? Oh no, that's Iron Man 3. Never mind, that's the Hulk going in his movie. So that's 6, 7. It was at 8 movies.
Oh, you know who is Stanley?
Obviously,
shit.
yeah. Obviously, the Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm kind of excited for that because it kind of looks like it's a mimic of this. And everybody hates this show, and we might get flack from our listeners, the hardcore Marvel fans who are listening.
If you're hardcore, you don't live hardcore unless you are. Wait, what?
You're not hardcore unless,
Unless
you
you live
live
hardcore.
Unless you live. I was
Yeah.
just saying, unless you
It's-
die
yeah,
hardcore.
but the Legend of the Rent was.
Before we go into that, you're right. Nick Fury has 11 appearances. Tony Stark has 10. Captain America has 8. The Hulk has 7. Black Widow has 7. Thor has 7. Winter Soldier has 6. Wow.
So
Okay,
Nick
I'm
Fury
not
is
gonna
the
go for rest of them.
so Nick
The
Fury
lead.
is the
Sam
most.
Jackson.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
11, baby.
But back to Far From Home, kind of like mimics a cartoon that I used to like watch called Ultimate Spider-Man, and everybody hates that show because of how kiddie and how
I like that.
I love
juvenile
that
it
show.
is.
That show's hilarious.
But it does.
So
it's,
that's 100% of people who like it here.
it's literally I think the person who plays Nick Fury in that show is Chi McBride, and he's an awesome actor.
Drake Bell, Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then but he basically recruits Spider-Man into S.H.I.E.L.D. to be like the leader of this this team, which it has White Tiger,
Power Man.
Power Man, Luke Cage, Iron Fist.
It's
What's the other one?
interesting.
That's it.
Yeah, he's got Coulson in
I'm
there.
excited for
Clark
Far
Gregg.
From Home because it is it doesn't take place in the United States, which is
Yeah, it
exciting
does.
for me.
But I do like that that's going to happen because Nick Fury would be a logical post Endgame
mentor.
because Tony Stark. I mean, it just
He was
seems
a
like
men-
he's going to bite it.
He was a
Obviously, in
mentor to
Endgame.
Tony Stark. Spider-Man needs a mentor, so he needs to mentor somebody. And yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he just needs to be a mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that one. That being said,
he's shooting one of the elementals, and you're like, damn, that's
Yeah.
that's some Nick Fury action right
him
there.
and who? Him and
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill.
Oh yeah, you haven't even talked about your favorite Dick
Yeah.
Fury.
So,
moment.
did you say Dick Fury?
Ooh, write down idea for a movie. Dick Fury, guy who could pump and dump quicker than the speed of light.
What?
Hold on, let me write this
Let's
down.
go, without no one hearing about it. It's like in secret. Just kidding.
Oh, it's a crazy ass plot.
Go, Jen.
My favorite Nick Fury moment, then, because you guys took the best ones.
Ooh-wee. Shots fired.
A really good Nick Fury moment for me is
just-
probably the intro to the Avengers.
He said or shield.
Intro to the Avengers?
Yeah, where he's kind of standing up to Loki, not being afraid of him, sort of intimidated a little bit. But he does at one point, doesn't he fly out of a helicopter and or jump out of a helicopter, roll, and then start shooting?
Yeah. When
Loki?
Loki's attacking the
Yeah.
base. Okay.
That's a really cool Nick Fury moment for me. So
I thought you were talking about the intro to the Avengers. I was like, that was interesting. Where he's like,
Oh, yeah.
No. The entire intro, the Shield intro, because
Yeah.
Loki attacks Shield basically.
Yeah.
There's Hawkeye's got some action in there. Kind of
what?
possessed.
He had sex?
No, I mean
Oh.
fucking hell.
I thought you were going to pick the fight with Talos.
Because
Because he does a really badass move
That was
where he
good too,
he
yeah.
punches and rolls through. I was like, God damn.
I do
That was
really
good.
like moments dialogue moments in Captain Marvel, especially the one where he's Captain Marvel herself is talking to Monica Rambeau and she's telling him about the aliens and
Yeah.
Nick Fury's what does he say? He says something yeah, there's no such thing as aliens because if there was, that's the kind of things we would keep to ourselves.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
And that's a really funny moment. Or when it's the computer is loading and everyone
Yeah.
else is kind of
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well,
What's it doing?
yeah, but I do like that Avengers moment where he's front lines and it shows him that I mean, that motherfucker can't die. He
Oh,
literally
yeah.
jumps out of a burning helicopter that crashes.
And he doesn't need anything. He just has a gun with him. Like
Yeah, and it has
pistol.
a fucking pistol trying to shoot at Loki.
Well, and like
So-
I thought you were gonna pick the Winter Soldier reveal where it's like, oh, he's not dead, and you're like, damn, this dude like tricked
Oh, yeah,
everybody. Like,
he's-
there's ears everywhere because of Hydra, and this guy was still able to like, nah.
Well,
He,
also,
he
like,
went, he went to his own funeral.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
Avengers,
very
I think
good.
he's like, other than Captain Marvel, the Avengers he's been the most badass because there is a part in the Avengers where where the possessed S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. You turning my microphone down?
I was gonna fade you down and see if
Yeah,
you
it
noticed.
seems like these shield agents who are possessed by the Mind Stone are coming into the helicarrier's main what's it fucking called? I guess the main
foyer.
the bridge or something. I guess the bridge.
Yeah.
And Fury starts like remember
yeah,
he like
taking him out.
he takes him
Yeah.
out like in really cool like in
He like
really cool
breaks one's
fashion.
neck.
Yeah.
yeah, things
And like
that.
he uses another person's guns against them, and it's
Yeah.
like it's pretty cool. So like I think he had some really cool moments.
It's time for
in
a
that movie.
spin-off Nick Fury solo movie. Am I right?
Nick Fury, Agent of Shield, or
Boom.
Director of Shield.
Director.
Yeah. That's what
Dick
the
Fury.
comic is called.
Let's talk about the future of Nick Fury. Do you think he continues onwards?
That's an obvious yes because of Spider-Man. So there you go.
Yeah.
We got a
Damn it.
definitive answer. No need to
This is
speculate.
the quickest.
Thank
what's
you,
gonna happen
Sony.
next
It's
thing.
Sony's fault for like
Sony,
literally.
how dare you.
Yeah, for showing
You
the spoiler. Really,
you finally
really.
got Sam Jackson in
Listen,
the movie.
I'm excited for him. I think he does add a lot. I think he may be a good connection for all of these Marvel movies as Nick Fury, even if it just ends up being him being like just a documenter of
Him just coming
history.
in and going motherfucker. and
yeah, or
that's
just
it.
being like, oh, I've seen it all here. But
well, and like if Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to take over the Stan Lee cameo, I think that's a good way. I think Nick Fury's. I think the next best
Yeah.
thing that you can do is
he
to
knows
keep it all connected. You
yeah.
know, like that's how
He
you know
knows
you're
everything.
you're at a Marvel movie.
Literally from the 80s on to now. So he's been around
Yeah, for sure.
in the MCU.
Around.
He been around.
But cool. Awesome. Any last words about Nick Fury?
Any
and
last
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
words?
Guys, we went over an hour.
Really?
Dang,
that was
that's
cool.
awesome.
It was really funny because
I-
we were really kind of nervous.
I think it's because we talked about news in the beginning, but yeah.
But yeah, I was like, truth
You're
be
like,
told,
we really only talked about him for 20 minutes.
guys, yeah, it was pretty funny. I'm gonna go ahead and just speak to the listeners now. We thought we didn't know what to talk about.
We
when it
did.
came
We
to
weren't sure if
Fury.
Nick Fury was worthy of an entire episode, but he's
But
been
we-
in the most.
Ooh, wow, you're just gonna.
I mean,
you're gonna
seriously, because
get some
but
hate
he's
for that.
he's been in the most Marvel Cinematic Universe movies.
Yeah, and also again, we wanted to wait after Captain Marvel to do this episode specifically because they were going to add to his history,
Yeah.
and we're still learning new stuff about him. So that's really really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think again, there's so much more room to even improve his character or keep adding to it.
And because he doesn't have his own movie, his own origin story, we get the pieces of him through these moments that he's in other MCU films, and they're really, really good.
Look at all the shit he has to deal with. Like, isn't that crazy? Like
Yeah.
anybody else would be stressed
Oh, fuck.
the F out.
And I kind of like how mysterious his backstory is.
Yeah.
Like,
just
pretty
found
cool.
a better Nick Fury moment.
Oh,
it's
John
too late.
Scott.
Fucking
Yep,
hell.
It's too late. The
Here.
time is up.
Why don't you
Son
say it
of
right
a
now?
bitch.
Why don't you say it right now, and
Oh.
we'll edit it over the other last part. I'm just
It's
kidding.
when he
Nope.
A bonus one would be like when he tries to get Goose to eat the Kree
Oh,
that
yeah.
catch him
With the
in
flirt, and
Captain
he's like,
Marvel.
"Get him,
Yeah, do your thing. Yeah.
do your
Oh,
thing."
that reminds me.
Nothing happens.
If you guys want to tell us what your favorite Nick Fury moment is, you'll look for a post on @DelphinPod on all social media. Let us know what your favorite Nick Fury moment is, baby.
Yeah.
David
Hey,
Hasselhoff.
Wait a minute, Mr.
Oh
Postman.
yeah, that was good.
David
too.
Hasselhoff included or not really?
Mr. Postman.
Sure, if you want to tell us your favorite David Hasselhoff moment.
Nick Fury.
It's only in Guardians 2. There you go.
Yeah,
He's-
Guardians 2,
he's
Baywatch.
Zardu Hasselfrau.
That's true. He's
Zardu
in it.
Hasselhoff. Yeah,
Exciting stuff.
yeah, that's kind of funny in a
Boom.
way.
Both Nick Furies are in the MCU, baby.
Nick Fury hasn't met the Guardians yet.
Not yet. That'd be man.
He
See,
hasn't.
exactly. I need to see Nick Fury talk
Yeah.
to Rocket Raccoon.
To Drax.
Oh yeah, where's your eye or something?
Yeah, exactly. He's
Yeah.
like, "How much for the eye? For that eye."
Hold on. Idea for a dialogue.
Boom.
Please send to Marvel
Yeah.
at
PO box
PO
at
box.
boop.
That's spelled
James-
BOOOO.
James Gunn, give us free stuff.
Yeah. Nintendo. Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
Cool.
Any
cool.
final
cool,
thoughts? No. Cool.
I know.
No,
I mean,
he's gonna survive.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be a happy ending for
It
him.
literally,
Yeah, it really is.
we really do know that Nick Fury's
Like,
There's a
gonna-
lot
only
more.
there's only 3 people that we know survive everything, and it's Spider-Man, Maria Hill,
Thanos.
and Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
Nick
Thanos
Fury.
is getting that origin movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That Lifetime original film, Thanos, Purple Heart. That's the name of it. Because he's purple.
Fanfic.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's
fanfic
awesome.
idea for fanfic. Thanos, Purple Heart, goes to the war in Iraq,
Electric Boogaloo.
falls in love, gets injured.
Why would he do a war in Iraq? Why can't he just do an intergalactic war?
Because it's another type of infinity war.
War
zing.
that never ends, baby.
Oh shit!
Guys,
too real.
before we'll go through our plugs. What do you guys have to plug?
I have to plug this podcast, guys. Listen to this podcast.
Good, you've already done it.
Go and buy a shirt. It's good. The shirts look really cool. You know,
countdown. So,
Countdown to Pound Town.
bonfire.com/countdown to infinity.
Yeah, go for it. The shirts look really cool this time around.
Colors
I,
of the
I
Infinity
wish I had
Stones.
one. I should probably buy one, right?
Guys, stick around. You guys stick around to know about the employee discount.
I wish, right? Other than that, listen to all of the Delphin Pod Network shows. They're all really cool.
Aren't you shooting a short film?
Oh,
maybe not. Never mind.
For legal reasons,
No.
my client can't talk about.
I'm working on a short film right now. I mean, it's just because it's still shooting. I don't want to really kind of like say anything until it's kind of done.
All right, cool. Never mind.
because it might never release. There you go.
No, that's not it.
I've
God
done
damn.
that. My
Now-
last short
now
film
you're-
never released.
Now you're literally just
I'm lighting
like,
a fire under them.
Google Apex. You won't find anything.
listen to that. Listen to the Sticker Fridge Network shows. Our sister company over at Sticker Fridge. Pretty cool people.
There's going to be a live event soon, I think.
For what? For Sticker Fridge?
Sticker Fridge, yeah.
Probably.
Do you not know about this?
I do not know. I'm out of the loop.
This is news.
Talk to your sister network.
Yeah, I will talk to our sister network here. Director Showdown's going on right now. David Fincher versus Chris Nolan. I am on an episode. I don't want to spoil it, but the episode rhymes with Mustige. Damn, that was pretty stupid.
Mystige? That sounds like a
Rhymes with Mustige.
stripper name.
Oh, fucking shit. Anyway, listen to those. Listen to those podcasts.
To those guys.
Yeah. We should have some cool stuff on the Patreon pretty soon. There's going
Brian,
to be.
shout out for calling.
Oh, shout out to Brian for our last.
Come over and tell us
Is it a listener
in
mail episode?
person.
listener mail.
Say it to my face. Get in here and say it to my face.
Shout out to
Over the
Brian.
phone.
Get in
Menard, Sticker Fridge member and
Whoa, last name. Shit.
great producer.
He's like P.O. Box.
I don't even give out my last name on this.
We call you Delphin.
Oh, fuck.
The fucking podcast is
Oh,
like,
shit. Yeah,
gotta
it's
delete this.
open pod. Fuck.
that was just a word. Now it's your last name.
Classic
fucked
mistake. Sorry.
And yeah, keep your ear to your
What
fucking
the
headphones.
fuck?
Yeah, sorry.
Keep your ear to the fucking ground.
I was gonna rip off
John,
the.
we won't get mad if you stop talking.
I don't know if these two people are listening. I was literally gonna rip off the Fish Tank podcast. It was like, keep your ear to the water.
They don't listen.
They don't. Yeah.
Well, my plug will be short and sweet to the point. We will rock you. Yeah, if you like Nick Fury, I mean, we can hook you up with.
What books is
There's
he in
actual
right now?
Nick. There's a book.
Yeah,
we'll call it
and-
Nick Fury, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and he's always got a lot of fingers and a lot of pots.
Just like me.
Yeah.
Just like me during potluck. Because you have, I put my fingers in a lot of stuff in the potluck.
so don't go to a potluck.
Don't go to my potluck,
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
I'm real handsy.
Yeah, so I mean, they make a bunch of. They made some Shield comics at one point too, and Nick Fury, Agents of Shield, a couple of comics back in the day. I don't think he's got an ongoing going on right now, but again, he's always present. He's always big. He was big in that time where Thor became unworthy and he couldn't pick up his hammer. That's because Nick Fury whispered something in his ear that made him unworthy.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah,
know
see,
that.
so he's still very, very pivotal even now. They just resolved that storyline like I think a year or two ago. So pretty
What did
fresh.
he whisper? Is it a spoiler or no?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
You're gonna
Whisper- just
you're gonna
whisper
have to, you're gonna have to come over and read it for yourself.
Why don't you
baby.
just whisper
come over
it-
to H&F.
Whisper it in
my
my
plug.
Whisper it in my ear later tonight.
Ooh. Daddy, chill.
What even is that? Guys, I think John hit it right on the head. Bonfire.com/countdown to infinity. You get a shirt. And again, in 2 weeks, you won't be able to get it. And right now, if you get it, you'll be able to wear it to Endgame. How cool is that? If you take a picture of that, that'd be nice.
Yeah, gather a couple of your friends, 6 of your friends, and I want to see all colors of the Infinity Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Each of you with a different color shirt.
Other than that, listen to all the podcasts. I will be a guest on 2 podcasts. which I'm not going to promote until we actually tape them. But
because I don't know how they will go.
that's right. If you like my lovely voice, you'll be hearing it through different places. Sorry.
That was really
Lost
weird.
my wind.
Different places.
But yeah, guys, we'll see you. Hey, thanks so much.
And
for
we'll
coming.
see you
We'll see you at the movie
when you're sleeping.
Yeah, we're Santas. We're 3 Santas. Idea for a movie?
There we go. Don't steal it, fuckers.
3 Santas.
Like a ripoff of the Three Amigos, yet Santas.
Oh, yeah. Same guys.
So it's like a 7 samurai type of situation where they call 3 Santas to the North Pole to deal with like some.
They're competing Santas. Oh my gosh, so 3 Santas. Only one of them can be the actual
One of
Santa.
Pancho Claus. One of them is Santa Claus.
One is Santo Claus.
Yeah, exactly.
They're trying to deliver as many presents as they can. Some kids are getting 3 presents. Some get none because of logistics.
There's
Right,
a
yeah.
North and South Pole Santas. Like there's 2 Santas, and then one of the
shit.
Santas is the original that they were both made and split off from when they were in Pangea.
And they could join and become one giant Santa.
Yeah,
They can
exactly.
dock. You guys know about docking?
Oh shit!
It's like basically, what is that? Human centipede
You don't have
type.
to
Yeah.
go on for that one.
3 Santas docking.
Have you ever seen a worm eat another worm?
And basically, they're able to, I don't know, maximize their time that way
Couch.
somehow. Well, while 2 of them are asleep, one of them's giving out presents. They alternate.
Boom. See?
Boom.
See? We already got this.
Idea for a movie.
Doesn't it write
Yeah.
itself?
It's going to be in the
I guess?
MCU in
gonna
the
write
next
itself.
10 years.
Oh, and then each of them say ho once, and it's ho, ho, ho. But each of
Yeah.
them just say it once. This is really good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, we got to mail this to ourselves. Poor man copyright this so no one else gets it.
Yeah, someone take notes and then just
Yeah.
email it to us.
Somebody write the script, send it to us, we'll sign off.
Later, guys.
Bye.